On behalf of the entire Larchmont Environmental Committee, we are excited to welcome you to Westchester's first ever AGSA certified green zone inauguration. So LMC Media is recording today's event. You can watch it next week on cable TV and at lmcmedia.org. And please let your friends and neighbors who could not attend today know that so they can also participate. So we'd now like to introduce our mayor, Lorraine Walsh.
Welcome everyone to the inauguration of Westchester's first green zone here in Larchmont's Kane Park. A few weeks ago, Larchmont and neighboring coastal communities suffered historic levels of flooding as Hurricane Ida passed through. The resulting losses and damage have once again highlighted the crucial need for all of us to consider what we can do to address climate change and reduce its impact. Scientists tell us that reducing fossil fuel use is a key step in addressing the climate crisis. Governments are particularly positioned to take steps in this area by virtue of our scale, our regulatory ability, and perhaps most importantly, by using the opportunity to model and promote responsible environmental practices. Eliminating the dirtiest engines, including the two-stroke gas-powered engines used for landscape maintenance, must be part of that effort. Our new green zone is more than a new way to maintain Kane Park. It's part of a greater effort to protect our green planet. As many of you may know, a green zone is a property that models sustainable landscaping practices by using primarily electric equipment and people-powered tools for routine grounds maintenance, thereby reducing emissions and noise for the benefit of citizens and the environment. Here in Kane Park, that means foregoing two-stroke engines, such as gas-powered leaf blowers, trimmers, and hedges, and mulch mowing leaves where possible. This green zone is the culmination of a 5-year sustainable landscaping campaign in Larchmont. During that time, our village has passed landmark code banning gas-powered leaf blowers and limiting the use of electric blowers. While we have had policies to prohibit the use of pesticides on municipal property for some time, we have recently passed a resolution encouraging native plantings as well. The Kane Park Green Zone is a living model for all these sustainable practices. With this green zone, Larchmont is continuing a tradition of leadership and collaboration in sustainability, with 100% renewable electricity for our residents through Sustainable Westchester's Community Choice Aggregation Program, Solarize Westchester Program, and Grid Rewards Program. We are also in the final stages of converting all our streetlights to LEDs and turning increasing amounts of our food scrap garbage into compost through a collaboration with the town of Mamaroneck and its Love Your Food and composting initiatives. The Green Zone concept was developed by the American Green Zone Alliance, also known as AGSA, in partnership with Quiet Communities. We're very fortunate to have with us today Dan Mabe, founder of AGSA. Dan?
Thank you.
And Jamie Banks, founder of Quiet Communities. Many thanks to you both for your leadership and innovation in sustainable landscape maintenance and your generous guidance and assistance in establishing our green zone. Sustainable Westchester, the nonprofit consortium that facilitates many expansive green initiatives for municipalities in our county, sponsored this green zone as part of its sustainable landscaping campaign. Its vision is that this green zone will be the first of many in the county. Here with us today from Sustainable Westchester, our Executive Director, Nina Orville. She's around the bush. Neha Donick and Maria Genovese. Neha and Maria, thank you all. I would also like to offer special thanks to the following Larchmont officials, employees, subcontractors, and volunteers who work together to pass and implement the codes and policies and to set up the green zone. Technical difficulties. Back on. Trustee liaisons to the Larchmont Environmental Committee, Malcolm Froman, Sarah Bauer, and presently Bridget Brennan. Village Administrator Justin Dettino, as well as the village, he's out here somewhere, there he is, as well as Village DPW Foreman Rick Vettery, and Andrew Bucafusco, wave your hands, Andrew, and landscaping contractor Austin Accocella. Where is he? Okay, thank you. Former Larchmont Environmental Committee Chair Kristen Anderson and committee member Caroline Bierenbaum, who initiated the leaf blower ban campaign and green zone effort. Current LEC chairs Lisa McDonald and Sasha Nahr, who saw both projects through to the finish, and the entire Larchmont Environmental Committee, everybody in that committee, past and present, put your hands up. I'm also pleased to have with us today County Legislator Catherine Parker, Westchester County Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability Peter McCart, Village of Larchmont board members Bridget Brennan, Sarah Bauer, Peter Finelli, Lieutenant Sanchez of the Larchmont Police Department, Chief Caparelli of the Larchmont Fire Department, Town of Mamaroneck Supervisor Nancy Seligson, Town of Mamaroneck Deputy Supervisor Jane Eney, thank you all for joining us. And I can't let this moment go without mentioning not only a former trustee of the Village of Larchmont, but a most important member of the Larchmont Environmental Committee for many, many years, and an advocate for the environment throughout Larchmont, throughout the county. And I think without her kind of pushing and driving and constantly bringing up the importance of looking at the environment and the way we do, we might not be here today. So that is former trustee Marlene Colbert. And now it's my pleasure to introduce County Legislator Catherine Parker.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh. I want to start by saying, you know, the old saying, it takes a village. This is another example of a village in New York State leading the way. 10 years ago, there was another such village, Southampton, which started the push for a ban on plastic bags. Another source, by the way, using petroleum, another way to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. This I consider that 2.0 reset for looking and digging deeper, and I so commend Larchmont, Village of Larchmont. You are a leader in Westchester, a leader in New York State for becoming a green zone, and congratulations, because the work that you have done and the Larchmont Environmental Committee, you are fabulous. I wish I could clone you throughout Westchester for the work that you all do. It is absolutely amazing. You know, this is really, I think, what you've laid out today, and what we're going to see, I think, in just a few minutes, again, is going to be a model that we want to see replicated in other parts of Westchester. County Executive George Latimer, who could not be here with us today, I know he and I both feel the same way, that this is something we'd like to help bring to other communities in Westchester. And we are going to be working through our Department of Consumer Protection, and obviously with our wonderful Director of our Office of Sustainability, Peter McCart. This is a great team that we have at the county, and your leadership has, again, shown us the way so that we do have more green zones throughout Westchester. And with that, I am going to turn it over to my partner in the county, Peter McCart, Director of Sustainability.
Thank you, Legislator Parker. Really appreciate that. Yeah, George would love to be here. This is his people, you know, and you all know that as well. And there are going to be a lot of congratulations going around here, but I really want to say thank you. I want to thank you to the village of Larchmont and especially the Larchmont Environmental Committee. Besides my job with the county, I'm the chair of the Eastchester Environmental Committee, sort of like what you guys are doing. And it's difficult. It's really tough to get this through, even with the support and the attention that your village hall gives it. So thank you for because you're leading the way for other municipalities, like the Legislator Parker just said here, who are working to electrify their landscaping equipment and the further greening of their open spaces. You lead by example, and with Sustainable Westchester and AGSA at your side, you have shown us a path to a healthier environment and active measures to help mitigate climate change. We here in county government are already taking a deliberate and calculated approach, but with thousands of tools and motorized equipment, we unfortunately can't really turn on a dime. So, but we must plan accordingly and set up a budget to overhaul our systems, and we are. We're already on it. We're working with the Department of Consumer Protection, like Legislator Parker just said, to make sure that all the landscapers that are licensed know that there are healthier and more sustainable methods to do their work. There's going to be a handout and a video that they need to watch, and that's the least of what we can do, quite frankly. The county already have many electric blowers, as I mentioned, trimmers, saws, and we now even have a ATV. We have a suite of ATVs to cover our 50 county parks to get from one end to the other, and we need to electrify those, quite frankly. So we bought our first one to test it out, and the Parks Department, in conjunction with the DPW, is working on a plan and budget to convert programmatically and make sure we do this large-scale conversion the right way. And we will certainly be calling on Larchmont, AGSA, Sustainable Westchester for guidance and expertise. I just want to give a shout out to all the other Sustainable Westchester board members here, and thank you all for showing up. This is just the beginning, and I'm excited about the future. So thank you very much. I'll pass it back to the mayor.
I would also like to introduce to you and ask to come up the Town of Rye Administrator, Debbie Reisner, who has very graciously and generously brought a proclamation for us today. I'm going to turn this over to her.
The Town of Rye has issued an official proclamation honoring the village of Larchmont on this propitious occasion. If you'd like, I can read part of it. Whereas tirelessly committed to sustainability and the protection of our environment, the Town of Rye is honored to recognize those partners whose purposeful work promotes environmental preservation throughout the community. And whereas, as leaders in the County of Westchester, the Town of Rye and the Village of Larchmont began collaborating with the American Green Zone Alliance, also known as AGSA, an organization committed to reducing the air pollution, noise pollution, toxic waste associated with the use and maintenance of internal combustion grounds maintenance equipment. And whereas in January 2021, the Village of Larchmont commenced AGSA's Green Zone certification process, a program that recognizes municipalities, school districts, and other institutions for their achievement of fully converting to clean, quiet, and sustainable landscape practices. And whereas in March of 2021, the Village of Larchmont fully certified its maintenance crews and successfully converted to environmentally friendly landscaping equipment at Kane Park, earning its accreditation as an AGSA Green Zone, and whereas following the example set by the Village of Larchmont, the town of Rye has been working with AGSA to fully transform its approach to grounds maintenance, replacing noisy gas-powered equipment with cutting-edge green technology and transitioning to low-noise, zero-emission practices. And whereas, as the town of Rye continues to work towards its goal of earning AGSA's Green Zone certification, its representatives are honored to applaud the Village of Larchmont as it receives this exemplary distinction. Therefore, the town of Rye commends its sister Sound Shore community, the Village of Larchmont, for achieving Green Zone certification and being a leader in implementing sustainable green practices across their municipality, such as the recently adopted ban on gas-powered leaf blowers. And thus, the town of Rye acknowledges that the Village of Larchmont, with support from Sustainable Westchester, is leading the way in sustainable landscaping environmental policy in Westchester County, providing commendable benchmark for our neighboring communities, and the town of Rye expresses sincere appreciation to Sustainable Westchester for its leadership in introducing AGSA Green Zone to the communities of Westchester County, and for its ongoing support for a myriad of county-wide initiatives, including grid rewards, community solar, and supporting the installation of electric vehicle charging stations.
Wonderful. So now I'd like to introduce you all to Nina Orville, the Executive Director of Sustainable Westchester.
Hi, good morning, everybody. What a wonderful day and what a wonderful occasion. Congratulations to the Village of Larchmont, Mayor Walsh, and the Larchmont Environmental Committee, including Kristen Anderson, Caroline Birnbaum, Lisa McDonald, and Sasha Nair, who spearheaded and championed this effort, for their commitment and hard work in creating Westchester's first AGSA certified green zone. Sustainable Westchester is really proud to have helped facilitate this initiative with the Larchmont community and with our partners, American Green Zone Alliance and Quiet Communities. I want to acknowledge Neha Donick of Sustainable Westchester, who led the effort for our organization. And also Dan Welsh, who recognized the importance of this work years ago. I'm also so pleased to be here with a number of members of Sustainable Westchester's board, including our wonderful board co-chair, Supervisor Nancy Seligson. And we're so lucky to have board members Peter McCart, Sarah Kay, and June Wallach here as well. I also just want to acknowledge the amazing work that the organization Healthy Yards has been doing throughout Westchester County. Fiona and Philippine championing the use of native plants and more sustainable landscaping practices. The work you do is amazing. Sustainable Westchester is really eager to promote this effort as a model in Westchester County. As the mayor noted, the terrible aftermath of Hurricane Ida underscores the need for action in addressing climate change. And of course, each action that we take is additive, and reducing the harmful effects of gas-powered landscaping equipment and transitioning to sustainable landscaping is a really important step. It's also really important to note that gas-powered equipment not only contributes to climate change, but also has really serious health impacts, releasing asthma-causing particulate pollutants. And going electric will eliminate those air pollutants from our communities and improve the overall quality of life in our communities. Sustainable Westchester is focused on ensuring that those who work in the landscaping industry, many of whom are people of color and live in disadvantaged communities, receive training and support to stay at the vanguard of this transition to sustainable landscaping practices. And by bringing in the hands-on approach that AGSA offers with worker training, more communities can do what Larchmont has set out to do while making the jobs of actually doing the landscaping work safer and healthier. Sustainable Westchester reached out to AGSA and QC more than a year ago to ask them to create a pilot project in partnership with us in Westchester so that we could create a more robust offering around that pilot and bring it to more municipalities and partners.
I want to thank our distinguished representatives from the state, county, village, and the Environmental Committee for the dedication and support of this project. I am pleased to acknowledge my brilliant colleague, Jamie Banks of Quiet Communities, who is an integral part of AGSA. Also, Neha Donick and Dan Walsh of Sustainable Westchester. Nearly 5 years ago, Sustainable Westchester hosted the first AGSA workshop for all interested parties in Westchester County. We are excited about our new partnership with Sustainable Westchester and Quiet Communities to further low-impact sustainable land care, outreach, and education. AGSA gives tremendous credit to Mayor Walsh, village trustees, and village staff, and the Larchmont Environmental Committee for your tireless efforts to pass a groundbreaking ordinance and establishing this AGSA Green Zone, allowing the process to become an educational and outreach initiative as well. Village of Larchmont, we congratulate you to become the first AGSA certified green zone in Westchester County. Finally, we want to recognize Austin Accocella of ACL Property Maintenance, please. I know I speak for everyone here today. We all appreciate you, your managers, and crew members for waking up every morning at 5 a.m., maybe earlier, being on call 24/7, and putting in an honest, hard day's work to beautify our communities and ensure properties remain at their highest values. You have been willing to try something new and work with the village to uphold the AGSA Green Zone certification standard. Thank you for being part of our team. And then finally, I would like to thank Mean Green Mowers for coming out so we can have a proper mulching demonstration with electric mowers. Thank you, Mean Green. And I would like to now hand the mic over to my esteemed colleague, Jamie Banks of Quiet Communities. Thank you.
Good morning. It's an honor and pleasure to be here in the beautiful village of Larchmont. My name is Jamie Banks. I'm the president of Quiet Communities. We're a national nonprofit organization focused on reducing noise and pollution related to land care as well as other sectors, some of which you have experienced during our ceremony here. Our goal is to create enduring change that results in quieter, healthier, more sustainable communities. We're pleased to be here with AGSA to celebrate the first AGSA certified green zone in the county of Westchester and the first project of a partnership with Sustainable Westchester. I founded Quiet Communities to provide science-based education, outreach, and assistance to organizations and communities interested in clean, healthy, sustainable solutions in landscape maintenance. A study we conducted with help from the EPA, revealed that gas-powered equipment produces millions of tons of toxic exhaust and CO2 every year. We published research that explained why the loud noise from gas equipment travels over long distances and can be easily heard in homes, classrooms, and offices. These types of noise and pollution increase the risk of serious adverse health effects, particularly for workers as well as children, seniors, and those with chronic diseases. 8 years ago, I was fortunate to meet Dan Mabe, president of AGSA, at UCLA, where he was giving an equipment demonstration to its grounds crew. I was impressed. We had lunch, discussed our goals, and immediately clicked. We've been collaborating ever since. Dan conceived the AGSA Certified Green Zone program, a structured program of implementation designed to effect an enduring transition to more sustainable land care practices. The program includes education, training, certification, equipment due diligence, and what we call ELF, or Environmental Landscape Footprint Analysis. Transitioning an industry to new technology is a formidable challenge. There are barriers, including the required upfront investment, education and training, and ingrained practices and infrastructure. It requires a multifaceted approach to turn the vision into reality. It takes dedicated champions like your environmental leaders, village leaders, committed vendors like Accocella Landscaping, and Sustainable Westchester to make change happen. Kane Park is the first green zone in Westchester County. It's a model for the county. A full transition from gas equipment to Kane Park reduces carbon emissions equivalent to planting 47 trees. Transitioning other areas of the village will increase those carbon reductions 7.5 times, equivalent to 300 additional trees. Assuming that all the cities, towns, and villages in Westchester have similar landscape needs, carbon reductions equivalent to planting nearly 16,000 trees could be realized, and that is just from transitioning their municipal operations. And we believe that this estimate is very conservative. The village of Larchmont is a member of a growing cadre of communities that are leading by example. As of today, these communities have eliminated 375 tons of toxic and carcinogenic pollutants, 21 tons of ozone-forming exhaust, and 1,350 tons of CO2. They have reduced land care noise in their communities by as much as 70%, and they have substantially reduced fuel spillage, toxic waste, and costs of operation. Imagine how much greater these impacts will be as other communities follow in your footsteps. It's a triple bottom line of people, profits, and planet. Congratulations to the village of Larchmont.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you. So we are going to do our demonstration now, is that right? Okay, so I'd love to turn it over to Dan Mabe for our demonstration.
Thanks everyone for allowing Mean Green to come present. My name is Zach Mersch. I am the National Sales Manager for Mean Green Mowers. Mean Green Mowers has been designing and developing electric commercial mowers for over 10 years now. My uncle Joe Conrad and my cousin Matt Conrad were the founders of Mean Green, and we are now a part of Generac, which acquired us as of last year in September. So we've been doing this a long time. There's a lot of design development that goes into an electric mower to make it as efficient and as clean as possible. Some statistics just taking one 25 horsepower engine out of commission on a gas mower and replacing it with electric mowers, like taking 140 cars off the road in emissions. So it's very green alternative. The battery technology really allowed us to get into the commercial market. These batteries that we have here, this 60-inch rider and this 52-inch stand-on, are commercial mowers. They'll get commercial operators through a whole day without any issues because it will continually cut grass for over 7.5 hours. So most people are getting through a whole day without any issues. They charge up overnight. They're ready to go again the next day. These mowers will pay for themselves. They are a larger cost to purchase. But over the life of the mower, within 1.5 to 2 years, typically the mower has paid for itself and you start putting money back in your pocket in fuel savings and lower maintenance. So we don't have the grease, the oils, the belts, all that kind of stuff that you'd have on a typical gas mower. The next big benefit is the noise. These mowers are half the noise of a typical gas mower, which we'll demonstrate here in a minute. But again, I just want to thank you guys for allowing us to come out and demonstrate, and I hope you like the show.
One more thing I want to point out. You can hear. These are American made. These are creating jobs in factories. I've seen them grow for 9 years. And it's legit. American made, a product like this. We're doing something here.
All right, well, if everyone just wants to stay where they're at, I'll be mowing up here, so we'll keep, if some debris kicks out a little bit, it shouldn't go much farther than a couple feet, so. Longer, I'm going to kick the speed up a little bit.
mention Healthy Yards is here. This is a special green zone because it's not just a cutting down on gas equipment. It's organic practices, and mulching is one of them. You already know that mulching is very healthy. Once you crunch this stuff up, get it down into the soil, it's going to be part of the ecology. It's going to act as natural fertilizer. So I just really wanted to point that out and really thank Healthy Yards and everybody that is pushing the envelope for a holistic green zone. Thank you for that.
Alright, so thanks to AXA, they put me in contact with Ego and got me these nice electric weed whackers. So the batteries last up to 40 to 45 minutes, depending on the weather and how long the string is and stuff. So there's a battery charger there, and so in case this dies, you just put in like another one. Hold on, let me see how this goes in. There we go. So there's 2 speeds on this. There's 1 and there's 2. So this is 1, and then that's 2. Other than that, this is a really good tool, and I kind of like this better than the gas equipment that they have now. Anyway, yeah, very, very nice. All right.